Hey, Sean, are you there?
Yeah, Alysia and I are both on.
Oh, great.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Sure, we can hear you just fine.
Alysia, you there?
Hi, thanks for having us.
She called him.
Ah, yeah.
There she is.
In fact, Lisa sounds better than you.
I'd rather look at and listen to her than myself, but here we are.
Here we are.
All right. So why don't you guys both introduce yourselves?
Sure. My name is Sean Burrows. Alysia and I both are competitive 3-gun shooters for Team Federal Premium and BMT USA, and that was Gunworks. We formed a training company back in late 2019, and it's just been growing like crazy. A lot of market demand in 2020 has helped, and when we're not running around with guns on a clock trying to shoot targets as fast as possible in the warmer months of the year. I know you guys are in San Diego, but, the rest of the country.
I was going to say, where could you be? You're in cold country.
When we're not doing that, we're teaching classes. So
awesome.
So what kind of classes? We'll let Alysia take this one. So what type of classes do you teach, and so the consumer would be able to kind of get an idea of what you do?
Yeah, so we teach concealed carry courses, and we have a curriculum where we did the concealed carry course. We call it Concealed Carry Ready. So not only do they get their concealed carry permit, but we take them to the range where they get some actual range time, and we can help them get more comfortable with their firearm. And then we teach introduction to women's pistol, and so we do intro, intermediate, advanced, 2 days of 2 guns, so like a pistol, rifle. So we've been proficient with pistol, rifle, and shotgun. So, and then we also love to teach, privates and corporate events and that sort of thing. So we like a really wide variety of what we offer, and it's fun.
Cool.
It's
really,
fun to bring new people into this whole firearms community.
Yes, especially the concealed carry classes. I really like that you include a significant range portion, because it's very different than just becoming proficient with a firearm. There's so many more layers to it once you become a concealed carrier. So why don't you describe a little bit about what the range portion looks like holster draw or that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so we don't do it from the holster at the concealed carry course. It's just mostly pick up from the table, but it's helping them understand the firearm so that when they can go back to the range to know what they're doing, and then helping with their technique. We work a lot on the hand placement and what the target looks like, and so help them to self-correct. So when they can go back and they feel more comfortable racking that slide back, and are also talking about malfunctions. So if this happens, then this is what I do, and it's a very basic, but helping them become more familiar with. A lot of them haven't even, I just bought this, I haven't touched it yet, type of scenario. And we get a wide variety, but at the same time, the people that are more familiar with their firearm, we can help them to tune it in a little bit better. And then with our intermediate course, that's where we start to, do it from the holster, draw from the holster,
gotcha.
and then go into movement and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you help them pick the holster? Because we've done quite a few product reviews here, and I think we've done 3 or 4 different types of holsters for concealed carry, and it seems to me like there's so many options out there. Do you help the student by choosing the correct holster?
100%. We help them also decide if the gun they brought to class, if it's the first class or a more intermediate or advanced class, figure out if the gun that they've chosen for self-defense or home defense is the right fit for them, right?
Yes,
so,
that's so important.
I mean, carry methods vary. With females, usually there's a wider variety of carry methods that your typical female would want to or need to train with pistol presentations, depending on the various types of clothing. I can get away with wearing blue jeans now to a nice business meal or, on a Sunday afternoon. So, it just, but even then, I changed my carry method 3 years ago from 4 o'clock kidney carry to appendix. And, that took a lot of training just to get more proficient with that. But also considering their lifestyle, it's nice to have a sub-second draw from concealment. But, some people work in corporate environments where they're allowed to carry as long as nothing shows up, but they have to be more deep covert carry. So having a micro compact in a pocket inside of a pocket holster is really their only option.
Right.
But they're not going to have a sub-second draw. But in that case, if there is workplace violence, so to speak, it's better to have something and not need it than to need it and not have it, because you can't carry it like the fancy Instagram tactical guys, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, it's funny you should say that, because I'm a kind of a car guy, and I always tell everybody, never buy your wife a car. Let your wife buy the car. Whatever she wants, let her make the decision. So what does Dum Dum do here? I go and buy my wife a Smith & Wesson 9mm. She cannot rack that thing for life. I mean, she says, well, what are we going to do now? So now I'm getting her lined up to do SD, not me, to see if I can get her with the right gun, because now I've made that fatal mistake. So I'm glad to see you're bringing that up. So if a person was to take any of your courses, you would just assume they didn't have a weapon in that first course, correct?
If it's hosted at a range that allows rentals, that's really ideal.
Yeah.
Alysia gets to deal with all sorts of interesting scenarios at the Women's Intro to Firearms class we teach over at Ready Gunner here in Salt Lake. It's whatever usually their boyfriend or husband decides to send them with. And it's really, half of them show up with something decent, and the other half, it's just kind of like, well,
let's switch you to a rental,
work,
right?
Well, they won't use it.
$15.
They won't use it if they don't like it. It's just as clear as the nose on your face. If it doesn't fit, they can't rack it. It's got too much recoil. Whatever the case may be, they just won't use it. So what's the point?
Yeah, I've definitely come across that as well.
Yeah.
What I love about that,
what we like to do is get them going, but then
Who'd we
online subscribers, and we open it up every couple of months where they practice with us, and we get on a Zoom call and we do a dry fire around specific skills to help keep that motion forward, because one weekend class, even once a month, isn't really enough to build the skills and the habits to be useful with that tool.
Right. So once
they do have the right one.
So once they take your class, they've now become part of the family. Sounds like.
Yeah.
That's good.
A community, a group.
And I really like you mentioned earlier about self-diagnosis, and I think that's so important too, for them to be able to go off on their own and continue to be able to continue to improve their skills even without an instructor there.
Right. My goal for the women's course especially is, a lot of times, like you said, they come in, I brought this pistol that I don't know what it is, it's never been shot, and then my goal for them is to finish the class with, I can go to the range, and then they usually have a preference of what, pistol they have now, like, oh, this fits, this doesn't fit, and being able to go to the range by themselves with a goal for next time to say, hey, I can either rent a new one and try another one out, or bring mine, and I know the range commands, I know the range rules, and I feel comfortable coming in by myself and having a goal. So, like, what am I going to shoot? And that's a big accomplishment, from going from I've never touched one to being able to feel comfortable coming in and practicing.
It totally is. It's so intimidating to
I was going to say, get over that fear factor of even having a gun.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And to just be able to walk into the range by themselves and know what to do and how to do it, that's a huge step.
Huge.
It's not hard, but there's a big comfort level that needs to come to be able to do that.
It really is, because you You don't want to look like you don't know what you're doing, and the best way to do it is to take a class like these guys are doing. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. You're going to hang with us for a little bit?
Absolutely.
So we're talking about your class, and I just am really impressed. It's like you guys have crossed all the T's and you've dotted all the I's. You've been doing this a while, and it sounds like you've learned from experience. But let's talk a little bit about training at home program. That sounds interesting.
Do you want to take this, Alysia, or you want?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, well, we realized early on when we were getting into competitive shooting that if we don't want to embarrass ourselves the next Saturday at a local club match, we needed to put in some reps. And there are so many elements to shooting that don't require actually discharging a round. Practicing your trigger control, practicing your draw, your reloads, stepping into position with whatever firearm you're working with, practicing seeing your sights as you transition from one target to another target. There are just so many little things where you can spend time at home for free building the habits. It's like learning a musical instrument, right? How many guitarists have to be plugged in on stage in front of 30,000 people in order to play their guitar? Nope. You have to practice a lot in your bedroom unplugged before you can be on the stage in the limelight. So it's the same thing. Because you got a gun, doesn't make you a shooter. Because you got a guitar, doesn't make you a musician. And so we wanted to somehow bridge the gap between, like, great, you come, you take this class, we run some drills with you. Of course, you're going to be shooting better 4 hours, 8 hours down the road than you were when you first got there. You're warmed up. We got some reps in. You're dialed in, and that's all you're thinking about. But that's not going to be the case when you're in a poorly lit area, getting home, trying to get home from work or a night out. So what we wanted to do was somehow work with people, especially at a time when going out has been really difficult or impossible. And so we've been bringing on more and more, and we're going to be opening this up again in the next month or so for shooters. So, follow us on Instagram to keep an eye out for it. But we like working with just a group of shooters. We'll work on one skill. We call it our weekly skill builder broadcast. And, I believe it's $9 a month. We do a half-hour workout, so to speak, live. It's been Thursday evenings typically. And then we have 20 to 30 minutes of Q&A with people that want to hang out afterwards. And not everybody dials in every single week because maybe they don't need to, don't want to, or we'll have a really hot topic, so we'll expand on that topic the following week. We often bring in guests that are, world champions or very seasoned instructors in various genres of shooting, from military, law enforcement, competitive, whatever, because shooting well is shooting well, and getting perspective from different applications with the same types of tools is useful for all of us. And so we wanted a way for people to be motivated and become a part of a small community and why not do it with us and share things like equipment to techniques with the students that have taken a class from us. So we're going to be opening that back up. It got kind of popular, and we've had to retool a few things, and it's going to be better than ever. Probably the 1st of April. April Fool's Day. What better day to launch something serious?
So how do they find these classes? What do they have to go to?
Probably the best place to find us is Instagram, elevatedtraining.live. That also happens to be our website URL as well. So we've been announcing classes on that regularly. We also have a text number, so if you want to know when classes are coming online or in various areas, you can just send us a text at 801-516-3614. That's 801-516-3614. Call today. No.
Okay, I got the first three numbers. Hey, I got the first three. What was the second one? Second group. 801
516 3614.
Hey, if you're going to get in my business, you got to do it slowly.
Dave goes only at a certain pace.
That's right. Old.
Well, that sounds amazing. I mean, especially these days with ammo prices and, shutdowns and just the state of the economy and state of everything. That sounds like a great price, a great program. So that I'm super excited that you guys are doing that. So you said there was. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's been really fun to have these like intricate classes and stuff. But what we really love to preach is just getting that firearm out every day, touching it, knowing where in the safe it is, what condition it's in, and practicing your trigger pull, getting to know all those little minute details, and then putting it away. So not making a big deal about it. Like, oh, that's going to be a task that I can't do. But just like brushing your teeth, where you do it 1 minute every day, it's that those minute details, and what you perform to the lowest amount of your training. So, and what your muscle memory remembers. So, knowing where that is and doing that at home every day where it doesn't cost anything is a huge benefactor to helping you out.
It becomes an extension of you.
Right. Well, it's just like you said, like brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
Going from a manual brush to, say, a water pick. Well, seriously.
Yeah.
Stop and think about it. If you've never used a water pick, you could end up drowning, if you don't practice and use it properly.
For real.
My parents had a water pick in the 80s. Do they still make those?
Yeah. Are you kidding? Us old people still have those things. Are you kidding? That's the only thing that keeps the teeth in our heads. But
when it comes to repetitions, I like to explain to our students that all time is not equal. So I recommend before you strap on your carry gun, dry fire. Do a few reps before you load it for 5 minutes in the morning. And then when you get home and you're taking it off and putting it in the lockbox for the safe at night, do a few more reps, drawing it out, practice your trigger control, make sure your grip's nice and firm, whatever it might be. And, 10 minutes, or 5 minutes twice a day over a 6-day period, that's an hour of time. You're already touching your gun anyway. And those consistent small time periods of concerted, concentrated reps are going to make way more difference than if you're like, all right, Friday morning, I'm just going to do an hour of dry fire and really get it in. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's like brushing your teeth 7 times 1 day a week, so you don't have to do it the rest of the week. It doesn't add up the same.
So less is more.
Or the exact same amount spread over time is more.
Right. Well, when I say less, I mean, because, people are habits. Okay, I miss Monday, I miss Wednesday. Well, I'll do it for an hour on Friday. That'll make up for it. And that's
then they get overwhelmed, and then it doesn't happen.
Exactly. Yeah, it's got to be something. It's got to be part of your routine, because
and honestly, like, I don't know anyone that can honestly dry fire for an hour every single day. Even pro shooters that we hang with, if you're really gripping a pistol as tight as you should be when you shoot it, you're going to be done in 15 minutes.
Right.
Bending over to manage that recoil and all that. It is an intense, short spurt of activities. It isn't a marathon activity. It's a sprint activity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you get honest, good reps in, spreading it out over time anyway.
That's a good point. So you're doing all of these online. Will you ever go back to classroom training, or have you found that online is just as good?
4 nights a week. We're teaching 4 nights a week.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
So all of the above.
So you're just so you're giving the listener and the viewers almost every option available to fit their lifestyle.
It's a way that we're able to scale, unlike most instructors. And once we start traveling for matches, just in the next couple of weeks here, we're going to be teaching intermediate and advanced carbine and pistol classes with people that came out and took beginning and introductory fundamental classes from us, last season. And it's not slowing down. It's snowballing and building on itself. Wow. And it's really exciting.
So when you go all over the country shooting, when you go to certain cities for a match, do you hold any classes in that city or no?
We're working on being way more efficient with the destinations we travel to do that. But sometimes it just doesn't happen because, the range that the competition's at is usually, private land or a ranch in the middle of nowhere that more than just a public range. We're running around with stuff holstered. And, but we're attempting to.
Yeah.
But we'll see how the scheduling works out. Alysia is kind of taking that aspect over instead of me managing it, and so it's probably going to be run
way more efficient.
Absolutely.
No, I mean, and that's not a slam. That's not a slam at all, because, you know, I do the same thing. If I need to get something done, or if I'm trying to help somebody out, and there's a husband and wife, I always give all the information to the wife. You're just more
Well, if you
efficient.
do
like
it,
a
it
smart
gets
man.
done. Not pretty, but it's done.
That's if it gets done, or if I don't forget and, you know, overload. But yeah, so we're almost done with our segments. So give us your how people get a hold of you again one more time, a little bit slower.
All
So
right.
it's
you can
elevated.
just-
Elevatedtraining.live is our Instagram, and
Okay.
it's also our URL. So elevatedtraining.live.
Or if you put elevated training in that Google box, you probably would pop up, right?
Yes, hopefully.
Hey, I'm the dummy in the room. I mean, when it comes to computers. All right, so that's awesome, and then they'll be able to go to that site, and they'll be able to see the schedule of classes, and so they can pick and choose.
Yeah, so we keep it updated regularly, and all of our classes are up on there, just that homepage.
All right, very good.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much.
We sure appreciate having you guys on, and we'd love to have you back again. Keep us abreast of how it's going out there.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. You can watch us live every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're in the San Diego area, you can listen to us on 1170 a.m. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform for free. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can help restore and protect the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.